First, as it is mentioned in the syllabus, we'll have to have a look at what is known as Millennium Development Goals. As I mentioned earlier, in September 2000, at the United Nations Millennium Summit, world leaders agreed to a set of time-bound and measurable goals and targets for combating poverty, hunger, disease, illiteracy, environmental degradation, and discrimination against women. So these were the theme, and based on that, they have set some goals. And their idea was it should be achieved by 2015. 2015 was the target. So the goal one was eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Below that, it was divided into some specific target or indicators. The idea was that eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. So what they had in mind is half between 1990 and 2015, the proportion of people whose income is less than $1 a day. Whatever be the number of people in 1990 who had an income less than $1 a day, that number should become half by 2015. That means the number of people below the poverty line should become half. That was the idea. Likewise, for each specific goal, they have set a number of specific targets. Achieve universal primary education, promote gender equality and empower women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability, and develop global partnership for development. So these were the 8 goals as set as a Millennium Development Goal with a target date of 2015. And generally, if you look at the government programs in India, or in, for that matter, any country in the world, the government programs, if you look at it, most of the programs will be hovering around these universal goals. So you will see that there is a eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. There will be many schemes government promoting to make sure that people are getting some income, some job assurance schemes, something like that, and achieve universal primary education to make sure that they make that schools are free. I mean, education is free, and students coming to the schools will be given given some incentives and so on. And gender equality programs, how to empower women. There will be some special privileges to given to women, and reduce child mortality. So healthcare sector, what are the developments, and improve maternal health. So if you look at the developmental programs of our government, most of it will be around this sustainable, Millennium Development Goals or Sustainable Development Goals. So after 2015, they made it the Sustainable Development Goals, also known as Global Goals, were adopted by United Nations member states in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and to ensure that people enjoy peace and prosperity. So if you look at here again, sustainable development. So they are talking about end poverty. So basically this is economy, end poverty, and protect the planet. This is environment. People enjoy peace and prosperity, peace in the society. Prosperity is again economy. So basically it is again talking about the sustainable development, the 3 dimensions: economy, society, and the environment. And in many places you will see planet, people, prosperity, and along with that they may add a few more terms like peace, partnership, etc. But essentially it is prosperity, planet, people. And this is sustainable development goals. Sometimes it is also called Agenda 2030, because this is an agenda for 2030. By 2030, this has to be completed. The target has to be achieved. That is the idea. So we'll have a look at these 17 goals one by one. Before that, okay, these are the 17 goals. This you will have to remember in short. Details will be coming little later. If you are having a piece of paper, you can just note down. Number 1 is no poverty in short. The expansion we will see later. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. Number 4, quality education. 5 is gender equality. 6 is clean water and sanitation. 7 is affordable and clean energy. 8, decent work and economic growth. 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10, reduced inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. 12, responsible consumption and production. 13, climate action. 14, life below water. 15, life on land. 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. 17, partnerships for the goals. So this 17 you will have to remember. This is essentially is the thing you will have to remember or take away from the class. So if they ask any question, this is the one you will have to write and explain. And the explanations, each one is so heavy, but we cannot go much in depth. I'll briefly take you through. And there are a few websites and apps which you could use for learning this if you are interested. There are a few videos which the links will be there. I cannot show all the videos. Perhaps I can show one or two videos. Let me see whether this video works.
Hi, I'm Brett Callan, and in this video, I'm going to show you how
This, if it was audible, please type yes. Somebody, if it was visible or audible, in the comment box, please type yes or say yes. Okay, fine. Thank you, I got it.
anyone can quickly and easily create doodle videos, just like the one you're watching right now.
Okay, basically that is showing the list of sustainable development goals. We'll come to goals one by one. There are a number of videos which I cannot show you. The goal one, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. That is the idea. You know, in Millennium Development Goal, the goal was to reduce poverty, but here it is end poverty. There should not be any more poverty. That is the idea by 2030. So in all the goals, this will be the format in which slides will be appearing. The first 2 points will be talking about the current situation, and the second 2 points will be talking about what is the specific target they are planning. So many cases, number of targets are there, but I have taken only 2 targets. The details, if you go to the website, you will get. But this way, in order to reduce the burden on you, I have just reduced it into a single slide in which you will have first 2 points will be about what is the situation. 783 million live below the international poverty line of US dollar 1.908 day. That is a reality. That was in 2015. So 1.9 is the poverty line they have drawn. So you will see that it is around let us say 150 rupees per day, and they want to make sure that everybody has got an income above that. So what do we do that? For that, one is that we cannot again redraw the poverty line. So we have to make sure that the income of the people go up. That is why the government is bringing up many schemes in which they will be given some salary for work. And in all the cases, the salary would have been calculated in such a way that their annual income will be above this 1.9 into $365. So in India also, if you look at the salary given in small schemes by the government, it will be in such a way that to bring the people above the poverty line. And 2016, almost 10% of the world's workers live with their families on less than $1 point. So this many people were, that was a scenario. We want target 1.1 by 2030, eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere. Currently measured as people living less than 1.25 a day. Now they are telling it is 1.25, but they want to make it 1.9. And by 2030 reduce at least by half the proportion of men, women and children of all ages living in poverty in all its dimensions according to the national definitions. So please remember these targets and these goals given by United Nations, it is not legally binding. It's only an understanding. Every country sincerely try to adopt this, that's all. Cooperate, but if they are not following that, the United Nations is not going to take any action. But India is following this as much as it is possible. So here is a video on poverty. Likewise, number of videos are there. A few of them I'll show you.
Your dignity is tied to every other human being on Earth. When millions of us struggle to survive, human energy is diminished. When so many of us are still hungry, human potential is suffocated. Poverty has many forms, but no borders. To become fully human, we must free ourselves from the tyranny of poverty and from the grip of hunger everywhere. As we end poverty, true prosperity begins. As we end hunger, we all start to flourish. We have the ability, means, and capacity to create a world where all humans have dignity and our potential is fully realized. This is the story you are shaping.
So one major takeaway here is that poverty doesn't have any borders. They talk about it is really true in the sense if you look at uh, you may think that US is a very rich nation, there is no poverty, but if you search in the web you will see the homeless people in California, in Los Angeles, they are also similar situation. How the homeless and poor people are surviving. There are poor people everywhere, poverty is there everywhere, and poverty doesn't have any borders. But in order to realize the real human potential, we have to make sure that people are brought above poverty so that they can perform and contribute to the growth of the nation and for a sustainable development. And the goal number 2 is zero hunger. Globally, 1 in 9 people in the world are undernourished. So they, 1 person out of 9 doesn't get proper nutrition. That is indication. If there is no proper nutrition, definitely in, for example, in case of a outbreak like pandemic like this, nutrition is very important, you know. The goal is by 2030 end hunger and ensure access by all people, in particular the poor people in vulnerable situation, including infants, to safe, nutritious and sufficient food for all year round. So that is a objective. Target number 1, by 2030 everybody should be having food, nutritious food, and there should not be any hunger. So generally there is a saying that poverty in anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. If you think that, okay, there is not much poverty in India, we don't have to worry, that is not the case. If poverty is there in Africa, one day it will have an impact on India also. Poverty anywhere in the world is a threat to prosperity everywhere. And by 2030, end all forms of malnutrition. That is another target. So zero hunger is goal number 2. We'll go to goal number 2. I think there is a small video. I think this is also an interesting, touching video. We'll have a look at it. They say this is the story of zero. That is, they want to make it zero hunger. It's an interesting presentation.
This is a story about zero. What if you didn't have enough to eat? What if your life was defined by what you didn't have? More than 800 million people are hungry and undernourished. They live in fear of zero. It's time for us to rethink zero. This is the Zero Hunger Challenge, a comprehensive vision of a world where hunger is ended everywhere, a mission to zero out hunger. In 2012, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon launched the Zero Hunger Challenge, setting the world 5 challenges to end hunger in our lifetime. Sustainable food systems across the globe, zero loss or waste of food, double smallholder productivity and income, access for everyone to adequate food all year round, and zero stunted children less than 2 years old. In a world of plenty, no one should go hungry. But right now, more than 30% of children are malnourished. 1 in 9 people are currently hungry. By 2050, there will be 9 billion people in our world. We must work together to make sure everyone gets the food they need. We will commit to support and empower women to become equal decision makers in their households. When women have equal choices, women and children are better fed. We will improve access to food by partnering to promote small family farms and the infrastructure that serves them, sharing knowledge and experience to sustainably improve land management and productivity. We will work together to minimize food losses during production, storage, and transport, and encourage consumers to reduce waste and make wise choices about what to eat. The 5 challenges have been set. Now it's up to all of us, governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals, to join together to create the most beautiful number. Because when you zero out hunger, the possibilities become infinite.
So that was about the zero hunger challenge. So just they want to zero out hunger. That is a goal there. We'll move on to the next one. The goal number 3 is to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all ages. So basically this deals with vaccination and things of that kind. I mean, more than 70,000 children die every day. And more than 5 million children die before their 5th birthday. So this kind of statistics is there. Children's death because of lack of vaccination. That is so here they focus on health. So the target is by 2030, reduce the global maternity mortality ratio to less than 70 per 100,000 live births. So maternity death they just want to minimize. Right now the values must be much higher, and by 2030 end preventable deaths of newborns and children under 5 years of age with all countries aiming to reduce the neonatal mortality. Neonatal means a newborn children's death rate, uh, 12 per 1,000 live birth and sort of thing. So basically it deals with um, the health sector, especially for women and children. Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for uh, all at all ages, not only for young, for elderly also. And there are some videos, you can go through it when time permits. Then the goal number 4 is quality education. It's about education. So enrollment in primary education in developing countries has reached 91%, but 57 million primary age children remain out of school. Even today, large number of students doesn't have access to school. So the target is by 2030, ensure that all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education, leading to relevant and goal for effective learning outcomes. So basically, they say that children should be getting primary and secondary education. Everybody should be getting primary and secondary education. They should enroll. Students should not be going without going to schools. And it's not enough that they enroll in some school as per the government record. It is not enough. But there has to be quality education. Let us say a country is telling that, okay, all our children are educated. They are given 10th pass certificate. Okay, as per the UN, the target is achieved. But after passing the 10th standard, if they are not able to read and write and count, then that education is meaningless. So basically, that education should have some quality also with some outcomes. And all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development care. That is why you see in the new education policy and all, kindergarten also is included. So quality education is goal number 4. Throughout the world, children should get a quality education. Education is powerful. If time permits, we'll come back to this. Goal number 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Goal number 5 is about gender equality and empower all women and girls. Globally, 750 million women and girls were married before the age of 18. At least 200 million women and girls in 30 countries have undergone FGM. So that FGM is not an issue in India, but some African countries, it still is a big issue. And here the marriage age, they have put 18. There is a news recent days that there could be even, India, they may make it 21. Anyway, I'm not sure. And all forms of discrimination against women and girls everywhere. That is a target number 1. Eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls in public and private spheres, including trafficking and so basically it is empowering women. That is why all women police station and the women are given more priority and more protection, and so many laws are made to protect women's right and to empower women. So gender equality is the idea, goal number 5. Goal number 5, it was this is a video about some global Women's Day celebration and all, some targets and things like that. Time permits, will come back. Goal number 6, ensure access to water and sanitation for all. Basically for development, if the country is developed, then it is for sure that all the people in the country should have access to clean water and sanitation. So in many parts of the world, it is not there. If it is not there, the health will be affected. The country will not be productive. It will not be sustained. There will be waterborne diseases and things of that kind. So in order to make sure that the development is sustainable, ensure water and sanitation for all. 3 in 10 people, that is around 30% of the people in the world, lack access to safely managed drinking water services, and 6 in 10 people lack 60% lack safely managed sanitation facilities. So 30% of the world population do not have access to drinking water. That is why I think even in India, Central government, some of the policies. Last time I think free gas and all. This time I think one of the project which central government is focusing is pipe to water supply to villages, which I think in Kerala we have been doing it much before that. I think many local water supply schemes supported by external agencies and cooperative sector. So basically, we are all trying for this goal 6. So by 2030, achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. There should be water for everybody and affordable. The word affordable, because nowadays privatization is taking place. You may have water, water will become very expensive. That is not also not nice. One country says, let us say everybody is given connection to water pipes, but the problem is water is very expensive. Then that is not equitable access. Everybody should be getting water through pipes at a reasonable rate. And again, similarly, sanitation, the wastewater collection, treatment, and disposal. That is why you will see Swachh Bharat and all, in which the government is constructing, giving a lot of importance to toilet constructions and all. So it all comes under goal 6. And goal 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. So everybody need energy, everybody need electricity, and for cooking they need gas. So I think by giving the gas connections or pipe to gas connections, in a way it saves the trees, protect the environment, and it becomes more efficient. So 13% of the global population still lacks access to modern electricity. So that is why solar power plants and subsidized things. So basically by 2030, ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services, basically electricity for everybody. So 2030, increase substantially the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. The energy mix means, for example, in India, out of all the electricity that is produced, energy mix means what percentage of it is coming from nuclear power, what percentage is coming from thermal power, what percentage is coming from hydropower, what percentage is coming from solar and wind power. That is the energy mix. So they just want to improve that mix in such a way that more percentage will be from renewable sources. That is why government is giving a lot of subsidies to renewable energy sources, renewable energy projects. I think let us try to see this video.
What does energy mean? Light, entertainment, surfing the web, it's much more. Energy means education, better health, safety, economic growth. But 1.3 billion people don't have access to electricity. 1 in 5 living in the dark. Where people do have access to energy, finite resources are drained, producing and consuming energy in a way that destroys the environment and contributes to climate change, harming lives everywhere. These are 2 different challenges, but they have one solution. Sustainable energy for all. Energy that is accessible, affordable, cleaner, and more efficient. What does energy mean to you?
So sustainable energy was goal number 7. Goal number 8 is promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all. So it is about employment. If there is no employment, naturally it will create unbalance in the society. There will not be income, youth cannot work. So employment creating schemes has to be promoted by the government. So global unemployment rate. So this unemployment is an issue in all the countries, especially where the population is very young. In India, it could be a big issue in the coming years. So the target is sustained per capita economic growth in accordance with the national circumstances, and in particular, at least 7% gross domestic product growth per annum in least developed countries. So they are aiming for 7% growth. India was achieving 7%, but with this pandemic, I think it has gone down. And even for China, it could be 1%, 2% they are telling. So I think all these goals may have to be reset in the light of this global pandemic. And the goal number 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Basic infrastructure like roads, information and communication technologies, sanitation, electric power, and water remains scarce in many developing countries. That is why in order to create roads, infrastructure, airports and all, World Bank is giving money so that the countries will have resilient infrastructure and have sustainable industrialization, that is sustainable growth. So develop quality, reliable, sustainable and resilient infrastructure, including regional and trans-border infrastructure to support economic development and human well-being, with focus on affordable and equitable access to all. So there is no point in constructing a very super highway which is very expensive, which ordinary people cannot use. That is not the point. You should develop the infrastructure. It should be affordable to everybody. The toll should be affordable to everybody. There is a video that if time permits, we will come back. 12:30 we'll have to wind up. So I'll go a little quickly. Goal number 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. So that is another idea wherein poor countries, they want to make little more richer, and by 2030 progressively achieve and sustain income growth of the bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average. That is one idea. Like the people, those who are getting salary, less salary should be given a bigger hike so that the inequalities will be reduced. Then goal number 11, make cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. That is why you hear about the term like smart cities and all, because in the near future, most of the people will be living in the cities. People are moving from villages to cities. So cities has to be inclusive, safe and resilient. Inclusive in the sense it should be affordable for every economic strata of people. And goal number 12 is ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. And goal number 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Climate change we'll be seeing in detail later. There are videos which you can click and watch. Conserve. Goal number 14 is conserve and sustainably use the ocean, seas and marine. That is protecting the oceans and the marine life, and preventing marine pollution. There are targets. That is life underwater. Then sustainably manage forest. This is life above on land. That is combat desertification, protecting the forest, and there are some specific targets given, including wildlife. Goal number 16 is promote just, peaceful and inclusive societies. Reduce violence and sort of things. And goal number 17 is revitalize global partnership for sustainable development. And this video I'll show. See, so many people are endorsing this sustainable development. A lot of celebrities. You can see a lot of celebrities will be known to you. All of you type your name and register number in the comments so that I can take it as a...
We can be.
We must be the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done. The global goals.
A 15-year plan
For everyone, everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere
Lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
where no one
wakes in the morning
Asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world
where no child has to die of
Diseases we know how to cure, and where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world
Where everyone
goes to school. And education gives us the knowledge
and skills
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities to thrive
and be powerful
and safe.
we cannot succeed if afterwards is that.
We will live in a world
where all people can get clean water
And proper toilets at home,
At school, and at work.
You can write your register number and log out and have a safe Onam vacation and please do complete your assignment.
where economies prosper.
If you got any doubt, you can mail me
For everyone.
or you can
We will
WhatsApp
live
me.
in a world
where our industry,
Our infrastructure and our
best innovations.
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
we will live in a world
prejudices and extremes of equality
Are defeated
inside our countries
and between different countries.
where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
What we consume.
Planet where we put back
What we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back from climate
change.
where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
You can log out also. Like this video, you can watch later.
Life on land.
The forests.
Animals, the earth itself.
with peace between and inside countries.
where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries and we their people.
Work together.
Partnerships of all kinds.
To make these goals a reality.
These are the United Nations global goals
For sustainable development.
Let's get to work.